Projection bias is a cognitive bias where individuals assume that others share the same thoughts, feelings, beliefs, or preferences as themselves. This bias leads people to project their own attitudes or experiences onto others, often without considering alternative perspectives or recognizing individual differences. Assumption of similarity. Projection bias stems from the assumption that others are similar to oneself in terms of thoughts, feelings, or experiences. People tend to project their own beliefs, values, and preferences onto others, assuming that everyone sees the world through the same lens. Limited perspective. Projection bias arises from a limited ability to take the perspective of others. Instead of considering alternative viewpoints or acknowledging individual differences, individuals default to assuming that others think and feel as they do. Egocentric bias. Projection bias is closely related to egocentric bias, wherein individuals prioritize their own perspective and experiences over those of others. This egocentric tendency can lead people to overlook or dismiss the validity of others' perspectives, assuming that their own viewpoint is universally shared. Social influence and conformity. Projection bias can be reinforced by social influence and conformity pressures within groups. Individuals may conform to perceived group norms or expectations, assuming that others share their attitudes or beliefs to avoid social disapproval or conflict. Failure of perspective taking. Projection bias can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and miscommunications in interpersonal interactions. When individuals project their own thoughts or intentions onto others, they may misinterpret their behavior or motivations, leading to interpersonal tensions or breakdowns in communication. Impact on decision-making. Projection bias can influence decision-making processes by skewing perceptions of others' preferences or reactions. For example, marketers may assume that consumers share their own preferences when designing products or advertising campaigns, leading to misalignment with target audiences' needs and preferences. Mitigating projection bias. Overcoming projection bias requires developing empathy, perspective-taking skills, and cultural awareness. By actively listening to others, seeking to understand their perspectives, and considering alternative viewpoints, individuals can mitigate the effects of projection bias and improve interpersonal understanding and communication. Cultural and individual differences. The extent of projection bias may vary across cultures and individuals. Cultural norms, values, and communication styles can influence the degree to which people project their own experiences onto others. Similarly, individual differences in personality traits, such as empathy and openness to experience, can affect susceptibility to projection bias.